Hello, welcome back. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday and Happy New Year. As you can see, we've had a few snowstorms, but I'm out here today in Riverside Cemetery. It was established in 1876 and is Denver's oldest operating cemetery. It is quite large and there are lots of Denver pioneers buried here, so I will definitely be back to do some more videos. But today we're going to be visiting the grave of ex-slave Clara Brown. Clara Brown was a former enslaved woman from Virginia and Kentucky who became a community leader, philanthropist, and aided settlement of former slaves during the time of Colorado's gold rush. She was known as the Angel of the Rockies and made her mark as Colorado's first black settler and a prosperous entrepreneur. Brown was born into slavery on January 1st, 1800 in Virginia. At a young age, Clara and her mother were sold to Adam Smith, a Virginia tobacco farmer, and worked in the fields. She was then moved with the Smith family to Kentucky. Clara married a slave named Richard at 18 years of age. Together they had 4 children: Richard, Margaret, Paulina Ann, and Eliza Jane. Sadly, at 8 years of age, Paulina, the twin sister to Eliza Jane, drowned. In 1835, their owner, Ambrose Smith, died. To settle the estate, Brown's family was brought to a slave auction, sold separately, and sent to different distant locations. A plantation owner from Kentucky, George Brown, sensed her intelligence and strength and placed high bids to obtain her. At the age of 56, Clara Brown was granted her freedom, as stipulated in George Brown's will. She left the state upon receiving her freedom according to a Kentucky law and headed west, hearing that her daughter Eliza Jane might have moved that direction. Brown was hired as a maid and cook by a family heading to the westward departure point of Leavenworth, Kansas. From there, Brown was hired by Colonel Benjamin Wadsworth in April 1859 to work on a wagon train as a cook for 26 men. It was a hot, difficult 8-week journey to Denver, Colorado. Brown is believed to be Colorado's Gold Rush first African-American woman and Denver's first black woman resident. She did not find her daughter in Denver and followed the tide of miners heading into the mountains. Brown set up the first laundry in Central City, Colorado. She also worked as a midwife, cook, and nursemaid. Brown's income grew substantially, and when she expanded her laundry business after taking a partner, she invested her earnings in mine claims and land, and within several years had accumulated $10,000 in savings. She reportedly owned 16 lots in Denver, 7 houses in Central City, and property and mines in Boulder, Georgetown, and Idaho Springs. Brown gave generously of herself to those in the community. Leavening called Aunt Clara, her home and business was a hospital, a home, a general refuge for those who were sick or in poverty. Sick or injured miners, regardless of race, would often turn to her for help. Clara gave them a place to recover and cared for them until they were able to return to work. She also helped those who were homeless and needed a place to stay. Pregnant women in town often wanted Clara to help deliver their babies. She provided many of these services for free to those who could not afford them. Brown returned to Kentucky in an attempt to locate her family. While she was unable to find them, she brought with her 16 freed women and men back to Colorado. Under request from Governor Pitkin, she helped relocate many escaped black slaves from Kansas to Colorado. She also donated her own money to help establish new black communities. At 80 years of age, Brown's funds were depleted through charitable contributions and her efforts to find her family. Later, Brown heard that her husband Richard and daughter Margaret had both died, and her son Richard was lost. But she still vowed to find her daughter, Eliza Jane. Brown moved back to Denver when she could no longer sustain the higher altitude and lived in the home of a friend. After years of writing letters, Brown heard that her daughter lived in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and traveled there at 82 years of age to meet her and her granddaughter, Cindy. Reunited after 47 years, they returned to Denver, Colorado to live together until Brown's death 3 years later. On October 23, 1885, Clara Brown died in her sleep. The Society of Colorado Pioneers buried her with honors. Crowds flocked to her funeral at Central Presbyterian Church in Denver, including Colorado Governor James Grant and Denver Mayor John Rout. Clara Brown is considered one of the 100 most influential women in the history of Colorado. She was inducted into the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame in 1989. In 2003, an opera was written about her life in Central City, Colorado. The Central City Opera House dedicated a permanent memorial chair in her name. There is also a stained glass portrait of her in the state capitol. Okay, so I believe her grave should be up here somewhere. I'm trying to figure out if these are animal tracks or not. I'm not sure. Okay, I think it's... So I think this is hers right here. See if I can get all the snow off. Ooh, it's kind of icy. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says Colorado Pioneer, Clara Brown. I also put a picture of it without snow and ice on it, so you can read what it says. There's a few rocks on top and an American flag. Yeah, it's a really neat headstone, so fortunately there's way too much ice and snow on it, but I'll include a picture later. But that is the grave of ex-slave Clara Brown and Denver's first black resident. Hope you enjoyed that video and getting to see some of Clara Brown's grave. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I will see you at the next grave. Thanks.